will I really be able to create a community which I've always dreamt of? And all of a sudden, when I decided to come out of it and started this off, and look where we are today. I'm grateful for everyone who has been talking on this platform.
The first question I think I asked her was, do I need to undergo chemo? And she said that we don't know as yet, but you may have to undergo. So I asked her that, okay, what if I just take medication? So she says, with your kind of cancer, it's not going to work. And then I said, okay, what if I decide not to do anything about it? So she laughed it off. She said, nothing else. You'll have a very painful death, but you'll have to wait for 3 years. And there was a flash in my head, and I calculated 3 years is a very long time for a painful death. My reactions because of the chemo started increasing, and after my second chemo, I started losing my hair. This is a funny conversation that you need to hear. So I was so fed up of seeing hair all over the place. On my pillow, under my bed, every 2 hours brooming did not help. So I decided I needed to go bald. I called up Lakme, and because that was the only certified standardized parlor I knew at that side of the town. I called up Lakme, and then I asked them, I said, I need to go bald. So there was total silence on the other side, because I don't think anybody has called them and told them I need to go bald.
But those 4-5 days, I was kind of very upset, I think one of those rare times when I actually started asking why me, a question which I never ask myself anymore, but that was possibly the first time that I ever did, okay. And but in that one moment, something just changed. It was like, a switch flipped, because I realized that, you know what, I still can walk, okay. I still have a whole life, and I still have so much joy that I can bring to myself and to everybody else around me. And probably a scar is the last thing that I should really be worried about, okay.
When you're giving a 2-year-old boy a gun to play with, at a subconscious level, you're introducing violence to a child. You look at Bollywood, right? मर्द को दर्द नहीं होता, भैया क्यों दर्द नहीं होता मर्द को? मर्द भी इंसान है, उसको क्यों नहीं दर्द हो सकता? You see, there are 2 types of energies, masculine energy and feminine energy, right? Now, masculine energy as such is the energy of building, doing, providing, yeah? It's more about action. Whereas the feminine energy has got more softer elements. So it's the energy of creating, nurturing, loving. It's about compassion, right? So it's all about that. Now what we've done is we've said that masculine energy ka hakdar sirf mard hai. So what I'm typically trying to say is, it's only men that carry masculine energy, and all the feminine energy is only about women. No. This is where the imbalance really is.
It's basically about accepting that yes, things could happen, and things may not always turn out the way you would want it to, but saying that even if it does not, it's okay, and that you have your future, which you have to look forward to, and the present, which is most important. As long as you are packing your present with as much of life, you don't have anything to regret.
But sometimes you should always also know that the change can start from you. Just because someone tells you cannot do something doesn't mean that if it's within safety standards, it doesn't mean that you cannot do it. Because I was once on a solo trip to the Mongolian border from the Siberian side, and there was nobody around me. I could see some huts and some horses, otherwise it was just like an empty landscape, and just 1 or 2 local people. And then I hear this ringtone of Mithun Chakravarti's song, Yaad Aa Raha Hai Tera Pyar. I don't know if anyone of you remembers that song from the old times. And I thought that my mind is making up stories, because I'm missing my parents, so maybe I'm just thinking. And then I followed where the tone was coming, and there was this small hut in the middle of nowhere with horses, and it was the ringtone of the person, the man in the hut actually. And I tried to explain to him that I'm from India, and you could see the biggest smile on his face. Like, he had nothing, but he had the most beautiful smile in the whole world. He was just so happy to know that I came from a country from where you had that ringtone from. My request to you would be never give up and travel as much as you can.
I have an autoimmune condition called lupus. It could attack your liver, your kidney, your heart, your skin. It could be anything for that matter, and it doesn't have a cure, okay? And in my case, my kidneys were affected. And he asked me, how are you feeling? I said, I'm fine, doc, And he's like, okay, cool. And then he looks at his assistants and points a finger at me and says, you look at that lady? Now, this lady is a case of lupus. She's lupus positive with membranous nephritis, and her platelet counts had dipped down to 1,000. So by the time I actually got to the hospital, my platelet counts had further gone down to about 1,000. And he says, had she not been brought into the hospital in the next 1 hour, she would have been dead, okay? And considering her condition, I can give it to you in writing that she's not going to survive beyond 5 years. For what is a man and what has he got? If not himself, then he has not. To say the things that he truly feels and not the word or words of one who kneels. The record shows I took the blows and I did it my way. I was like, I've never been a loser in my life. I've never been someone who has given up. And it doesn't matter really if I were to be living for 5 years or 15 or 20. Yes, and now the end is here. I almost felt like that. But yeah, saying that, I think that gave me a lot of courage. And I was like, it doesn't matter how long I live. Can I really make every moment count?
The quality of a relationship that you share is something which would really impact your happiness directly. So if you're into a toxic relationship, maybe a high conflict kind of a marriage, it's high time you get out of it. Give yourself the permission for who you are, the permission to laugh, to cry when you need to succeed, to fail, to break apart, to rise up again, and also to dream big and to reach your dreams.
And there is a science behind why when you try and learn something, you feel happy. Because when you learn something, it is basically about you tuning yourself to permanently adapt to a changing environment or an environment that you're not comfortable with. And your brain is very smart. It rewards you. It rewards itself for the attempts that it makes to absorb, and process the new information. Okay, and then again releases chemicals like dopamine, which is the hormone of happiness. Okay.
But let me talk about the human body now, okay? And we consider ourselves to be just a small speck in this whole universe, right? Now think about how complicated our systems are, okay? We have almost 1 trillion cells in our body, and we have almost 1 trillion chemical reactions that are happening every second that we are here. Our brain consumes like roughly about 20% of all, no, rather it's 40% of all the nutrients that we eat, 20% of all the air that we breathe, and besides that, we have 100 billion neurons in our brain, each of which is connected to another 55,000 neurons. Happens when you start following or practicing the law of attraction. What I realized is that there is no magic or voodoo to it, okay? I think what really happens is that the minute you start focusing on what you want to do, somewhere your subconscious allows you the opportunity to ingrain it within yourself and believe that it has already happened. The minute you keep yourself away from this negativity and you start focusing on what is it that you really want, automatically you start believing, you start taking risks, you start noticing opportunities, and in so many ways you are without being diverted, you are focusing on that one singular goal. And more often than not, that is the reason why those things happen.